San Antonio, Texas, site of Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Fans here hoping that the comforts of home can turn this series around, but they all know any chance of climbing out of a 2-0 hole hinges largely on the play of that guy right there. LaMarcus Aldridge will have to step up in a major way because Spurs star Kawhi Leonard out once again with that injured left ankle. And on the other side, that dude's already stepped up his game. Steph Curry's been sensational this series, averaging 34.5, 7 boards, 5 assists, and I believe those are wax jeans, ladies and gentlemen.
Wax?
Very fancy in this humidity. Welcome inside the AT&T Center with Chauncey Billups, Jalen Rose, Michael Wilbon. I'm Michelle Beadle. Quick injury news. Isaiah Thomas out for the postseason, what is left of that. We will have more on that coming up. For now, we'll get you ready for a Game 3 that has the feels of a must-win for San Antonio. As we take a look at the championship banners hanging from those rafters, Spurs fans might be left wondering, what if that left ankle of Kawhi Leonard never got injured? Again, San Antonio will be without him tonight, and for more on that, we send it down to Doris Burke.
You know, Michelle, within the last hour, Greg Popovich was asked how much of the decision to sit Kawhi had to do with the overall philosophy of the Spurs. And though he would not commit fully to this, he did admit that, yes, we have a history of extending players' careers. When I asked him this morning how much a part of the conversation Kawhi was, he simply said, listen, I talked to everybody, the other players, certainly Kawhi. Ultimately, it was my decision. Kawhi is not very happy about it, but they are, in fact, without him tonight. On the other side, just moments ago, we were talking to Draymond Green and asked him, is this the best defensive team he has ever played on? And he said yes. He said it's as committed a group across the 5 guys as he's ever played a piece of. And he said, listen, I take particular pleasure in the effect we have on our opponents. Let's listen.
You know, you can just see teams slumping their shoulder. All of a sudden, the cuts aren't as hard. You know, the demand for the ball isn't that hard. It isn't that strong anymore. You know, you just kind of see the life go. And, you know, it's a pretty thing. I think what makes it even better is, yeah, we get that stop, but then we push it down and hit a 3. We push it down and get a dunk. And that drags, you know, that takes even more life out of a team.
I do anticipate a better effort from the San Antonio Spurs. And just a note for you guys back in the studio, I think San Antonio will start small. Certainly Jonathan Simmons will start in place of Kawhi, but you might expect to see Kyle Anderson in the lineup too, guys. Back to you.
The young kids getting a chance. Look, Game 2, complete embarrassment for the Spurs. That is safe to say, lost by 36. Pop questioned their belief, their effort after the game, but he did say he believes they're going to come out differently tonight. Chauncey, do you expect this game to be more competitive? I do. I mean, like you said, Pop came out and questioned the heart of the team and other guys. You got a lot of young guys that are going to play tonight. They will leave it on the line. Do they have enough to win? That's in question. Probably not, but they will come out, fight at home. As we all know, role players play better at home. This crowd will be loud. Everybody feels bad for Kawhi, of course. The 18,000 that will be in here as well. They still will be mad about Kawhi, but at the same time, they'll be cheering for the guys.
I expect it to be more competitive because of what you said. The Spurs have a championship pedigree, as you know. Coach Popovich challenged the team after the game. There won't be any 1, 2, 3 Cancuns in the huddle playing for this squad. That's just not going to go down like that. But expect Simmons and Patty Mills in particular to have to drive at the beginning of the game to try to get this team going, to create some tempo. I think that's what it's going to take to get the crowd into the game.
I noticed he didn't say expect LaMarcus Aldridge to be. I mean, Simmons was the guy in Game 2 that seemed to get the memo that, hey, there's a game tonight.
Oh, he'll get it because he had a special memo.
Yeah.
He had a memo with an attachment, right? I mean, he did. I mean, Pop just made it very plain during his public post-game comments about LaMarcus Aldridge and what he expected. I expect them to fight. I expect them to play with the passion and spirit and intellect that the San Antonio Spurs play with. And then I worry that it's going to be like Game 2 in Boston. I mean, you have this league, and you guys know this better than I do. If you're missing your best player, you got to have something you can hang your hat on. And then if you're missing a guy, like normally tonight, wouldn't Pop say, we need Tony Parker to have the ball most of the time in his hands. We're going to run the following things through Tony Parker. Tony can finish if he can still have one of those flashback games like Manu did. They don't even have Tony Parker. And so the adjustment phase becomes what? What is he going to go to? The same guys who were in during garbage time the other night? I don't see that happening.
Mike, please don't say it's going to be like game 2.
How did you even put that in the universe?
Beetle just gave me, Michelle gave me an elbow.
What are you doing? We can't. It can't be. It can't be.
But it can. And I'm going to tell you something else. It ought to be. You know why? Not because of the Spurs. There's nothing to do with the Spurs. There's another team in the equation. The Golden State Warriors have to be watching the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Sure.
And if they are going to let the Cleveland Cavaliers deliver that kind of message, that message wasn't for Boston. That message was for them. It was for the Warriors. If they're going to let the San Antonio Spurs off the hook without their best player and then, I don't know, one of their 3 best players, or you put out Tony Parker, 2 of their 3 best players?
Leader for sure.
Oh, my goodness. What does that mean? Just give the Cavaliers a leg up in that series, too, if the Warriors are going to stand for that tonight.
Just don't tell me I got to look at another game. Come on now. Come on. They're going to fight better than that.
You're jinxing it, by the way.
But you talked about it. They're without 2 guys that have been finals MVPs. And Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard, the creators usually for LaMarcus Aldridge, for Paul Gasol to get them open shots. But with them being out, you're going to see a lot of junk lineups. A lot of lineups that Pop has probably never played before, never thought that he would play at this point in the season. So it's going to be essential for those guys to try to get stops so they can get on transition and get their crowd going.
You messed me up, Mike.
We lost Chauncey.
Tell you right now.
He's gone.
If it goes like that,
Might as well get a seat out here.
Connect 4, Monopoly. Find me something to play.
Chess,
Come on
my
now.
friends.
Let's
Chess.
do it.
Kevin Durant. So he made second team All-NBA. Feels like should have been first team. Chauncey, agree?
I think he's been one of the best players in the league this year, and yes, I do agree.
That was easy.
When you put somebody on, you got to take somebody off. You taking off LeBron or Kawhi?
No.
And I voted no.
I didn't either.